Oklahoma's new attorney general filed a petition today asking the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn its McGirt decision. A year ago, the High Court ruled that Oklahoma does not have jurisdiction to prosecute major crimes committed by Native Americans in a large portion of eastern Oklahoma. It's had a major impact. 2 News Oklahoma senior reporter Sharon Phillips spoke exclusively with Attorney General John O'Connor.
Besides asking that the McGirt ruling be overturned, Attorney General John O'Connor is also asking the court to narrow the application of the McGirt case and let Oklahoma continue to keep violent criminals behind bars who were convicted before the McGirt ruling. In his petition, O'Connor also requests that the Supreme Court affirm the state's authority to prosecute non-Native Americans who commit crimes against Native Americans in reservation areas. Following the McGirt ruling, hundreds of cases have been reassigned to federal and tribal courts for prosecution.
The express language appears to have intended the impact to just be on federal major crimes. But very quickly that threw law enforcement into chaos, and then the Indian nations began wondering, do they need to build courthouses? Do they need to hire prosecutors? And their justice systems have not been set up for that.
He says it should not have been the Supreme Court's decision, but instead worked out between the tribes and the state.
I think that a solution is going to have to be derived by the state of Oklahoma and the Indian nations sitting down and saying what's rational.
O'Connor has been on the job for 2 weeks, and while he says he hopes to meet with tribal leaders, he was on a deadline to file the petition by Friday.
I have not yet talked with the leaders of the Indian nations who are involved, but I'm reaching out to them. I believe there's a solution. I don't think there's any problem that's too big for us to solve.
As complicated as the McGirt issue is, O'Connor says the state's problems are better solved here.
Most of the time, the players, the stakeholders like the Indian nations and the state of Oklahoma are better at crafting their own solution than entrusting that to somebody who does not know as much about it and does not care as deeply about it as they do.
But the tribes say the United States government promised them through treaty the authority to govern their own citizens, and the McGirt decision reaffirmed that promise. Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. said in a statement that, quote, unfortunately, the governor and the Attorney General of Oklahoma have chosen not to join these efforts, but to once again seek to undermine cooperation by attempting to overturn the Supreme Court's ruling. You can see both the Attorney General's petition and the Cherokee Nation's full response on our website, kjrh.com. I will have much more from my exclusive interview with Attorney General John O'Connor next week as he discusses his quest to overturn Roe v. Wade here in Oklahoma, and also the biggest challenges he believes our state is facing right now. Sharon Phillips, 2 News, Oklahoma.